Hello and welcome to the very first episode of She Thought She Could podcast. I am Tabitha D. James, affectionately known as Tiny Tab, and I am so excited for this launch. You just don't understand how excited I am. And I'm going to tell you a little tap history fact so you can kind of understand why I'm excited. So I was podcasting before I knew podcasting was a thing. I used to record voice memos just as oratory practice and motivation and stuff like that. I had no idea that podcasting was a thing, and if it wasn't a thing then, I didn't know it was going to be a thing. So that was really whatever. And even when I made my first SoundCloud account, I still didn't know that podcasting was a thing. It's one of those apps that I just kind of had on my phone, didn't really pay it much attention. But in the last few months, I started actually listening to podcasts and was like, wow, maybe I can get back in this, maybe not. And then I was with a sorority sister and she was like, nah, girl, you need to get into it. And I'm like, kind of on the fence, kind of not. So I'm here. I decided to jump straight in, and I am so excited for the diverse things that I will get to bring you on this podcast. I am Tiny Tab, jack of all trades, just living life right now. I am a motivational speaker, but not really. I like to consider myself a transformational speaker. However, when you do motivation and stuff like that in this industry, you just kind of all get thrown into the same pot. And that's okay, because it's not your job to understand my industry, because I don't understand yours probably. But transformational speaking is the fact that I want to transform you. When you hear from me or anyone on my team, I want you to see the world differently after hearing me. I want you to be able to just liberate yourself and your mindset to a totally new dimension. And then I also want us to be connected above and beyond just that seminar or that session or that conference or that workshop. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I am a mentor mom. I am the program director for She Is Me Mentoring, which stems from my business, I Am She, which unifies a community of women that classify themselves as just survivors of whatever life has thrown at you. And I mean that from 0 to whatever age you are now. So if life has thrown you hardship, confusion, mental health issues, family issues, rape, abuse of any type, just being able to survive through things like that is remarkable, because sometimes you've made it through things that would have killed other people. And I just think that you are awesome because of that, and I want you to be a part of that community. And so I just launched also a Facebook support group. She thought she could, so she did Insiders. And so in that group, we are building a community. We are sharing resources. We are sharing stories. We are being open. We are being transparent. And we are being there for each other. Somehow in Black girl magic and Black woman power and all that stuff, we kind of got lost in just self-care and being okay. And not just Black women, not trying to be discriminatory, but in the Black culture, we have been taught to just be strong and not let emotions get us down. And we not all right all the time. And so that's just, not okay. So being able to push through that and know that certain things that you've gone through, other people have been through similar situations and also made it through. So I am just totally excited. Also, I'll be able to bring some guests on that can share some rockstar stories of survival, of success, of pushing forward by all means necessary, all of that great stuff. So a little background about Tiny Tab. Tiny Tab because I am literally 5 foot tall. If you never see me, if you look at my pictures, might not tell, but I'm about 5 foot tall. I'm from little Lakeview, South Carolina. Born and raised there. Well, not necessarily born, because there's not a hospital there. It's just that small. But I am a native of South Carolina. I've lived a few other places during my childhood. I spent some time in Trenton, New Jersey, and Florence, South Carolina. But most of the time was in Lakeview. And after I left there, I went to college at Coastal Carolina. Go Shots, Bleed Till, diehard alum. Always trying to send your kids to Coastal. And then I did something that just liberated my whole life. I went all the way to South Florida for graduate school and to increase my research, increase my platform, learn more about myself. And I left South Florida with so much more than a degree. So if you've been teetering and tattering about maybe possibly moving somewhere, I dare you to try it. I was so liberated because I was so far away from my norm that I had no choice but to find myself and fall in love with myself and just really be liberated beyond what I always knew. So it was an awesome experience. So if you're at a turning point in your life and you can do something like that, I really do dare you to try it. Came back from South Florida, moved to the Raleigh-Durham area after spending a summer on my sorority sister's floor, serving and trying to figure out my life. I moved there with a great job, doing some awesome things, getting my business off the ground. Life was just really happening. And then my mom got sick. So a little background, my mom was diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia when I was 9 years old. My family was torn apart by it. Things went upside down and sideways up, but Survivor Helping to Empower, I am here. And so over the years, she's had certain episodes where things got a little rough, and that was just one of those times. And so I had to choose between my career, my business, my mom, and my well-being. I chose my well-being, and I decided to let something go. So it had to be my full-time job. At that time, I don't know if I was ready to jump into full entrepreneurship, but it had to happen because I had to survive, and I was moving back to Little Lakeview. So I had to be able to figure out how to leverage my skill set and make some opportunities. And I cannot deny that life has been amazing ever since. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, there's been some struggles, but my mom is getting back into good health and things are looking on the up. I've been able to get in on some great organizations, been able to work on some grant programs, been able to work hand in hand with my mentoring program since I'm so close. Life has just really been happening. And so I'm excited. And so I want to share some of that and some of the other stories from my life that kind of are that Survivor Helping to Empower type thing. Like, you can make it through anything. You just have to be determined to make it. So she thought she could, so she did. Model for my life. I want it to be a model for your life. I am so excited. I can't say it enough to be in this space and be able to connect with people locally, globally, nationally, all those things, all of those dynamics, because spaces like this need to be created. So if you will, subscribe, screenshot, tell a friend, join the Facebook support group, because we are about to have a rock star year. I am all about goal setting and go getting. I am not about making plans and them not happening. I do have a faith life, very spiritual, relationship versus religion, and I am in tune with the fact that the higher being has given us all the resources that we need to make it. We just got to use them. And in this day and time, we got plenty of resources. And so it is my job to connect you with other great people so that those dreams you have can manifest. And it may not be business and entrepreneurship. It may be something else, maybe something inside of you that just needs to be tapped into. And I hope that through this series of like podcast and support group postings and challenges and all types of things to uplift you, you will be able to liberate your mind and know that you are free from whatever has happened, and you are going to be okay, because she thought she could, so she did. So, not going to keep you too long this first episode. Just wanted to give a little preliminary introduction. And I mean, in the weeks to come, I might have a bombing intro and outro and all kind of great guests and all that. But things just get better with time. You got to start somewhere. And so I just want to say to you, happy Thursday. And I hope you have a rock star weekend. And next week, there's some greatness coming your way. The topic is don't go back to school. And I know that sounds controversial, because if you look me up, I have a BS, MED, and MBA. And so for me to say don't go back to school, it sounds a little controversial, but that's going to be the topic. So if you know someone who is thinking about continuing on to professional or graduate school, but they haven't made that jump yet, or if that's you, be sure to tune in, because it's just going to be some nuggets. It's not going to be to discourage anyone from continuing their education. It's just going to set some grounds for making sure that it's aligning with your life and it's worth the investment, because professional school, let's just face it, it costs a lot of money. And if you're already in some debt, it's time to look at how to monetize the things that you already have in place, and then maybe adding an additional degree to up your credentials if necessary. But if not necessary, ain't no need to get in that debt, girl. So that's going to be our topic next Thursday. So I look forward to engaging with you. She thought she could, so she did. Have a great one.